magical beasts and dangerous dungeons, it's not just the warriors or mags who keep things going. There are unsung heroes, people who don't wield swords or cast spells but still hold society together. One such hero? Hongku, Lu Fan's aunt. Though she's only 8 years older than him, she's been raising Lu Fan ever since he arrived in this world. Day in and day out, she pours her soul into her little steamed bun shop, working tirelessly just to fund Lu Fan's education. She's not a fighter, but her spirit? Indomitable. Lu Fan hasn't forgotten her sacrifices. That's why today matters. That's why he's determined, no, desperate, to awaken as a combative professional. He wants more than just survival. He wants to repay his aunt with a better life, one without flour-dusted aprons and aching legs. Suddenly, the teacher's phone rings mid-speech. With wide eyes and excitement he can barely contain, he turns to the class and declares, "The awakening platform is ready." Cue absolute chaos. Students leap from their chairs like it's the last day of school. Cheers echo through the halls as they stampede toward the platform. But in the back corner of the classroom, one student doesn't move. Lu Fan stays seated, eyes calm. The teacher walks over, puzzled. "Lu Fan, you the top student. You've got nothing to worry about." But Lu Fan isn't hesitating because he's scared. It's because, bam! He just awakened a system out of nowhere. Super treasure map system activated. Lu Fan stares blankly. What? Now? Before he can process this surprise upgrade, the teacher slams a hand on his desk. "Lu Fan! You all right?" Snapping out of it, Lu Fan quickly nods. "All good, sir. Just visualizing success." Then, like a man on a mission, he dashes toward the awakening platform. As he runs, he reflects, of course, I'd get a system. I am a transmigrator, after all. Classic. But system analysis could wait. First things first, awakening ceremony. As the students gathered, they gawked at the colossal glowing crystal at the center of the platform. This was the medium for awakening, an ancient artifact that would determine their future. Tension crackled in the air like static. The teacher tried to keep everyone calm, but between dreams of glory and fears of disappointment, no one was listening. Lu Fan overheard a student whispering, "I hope I get a hidden class, maybe even a Saint-tier combat class." His buddy chuckled and brought him back to earth. "Yeah, and I hope I wake up with six-pack abs. Let's just try not to get chef or latrine cleaner, all right?" Soon, the ceremony officially began. The Grandmaster stepped onto the stage, his voice carrying over the crowd like a battle horn. "Let this year's awakening ceremony begin." He motioned toward a figure in flowing robes, the priest conducting the ceremony. As the priest walked up, students couldn't help but gawk at his dominating presence. This guy didn't look like a mere support class. He looked like he could tank a dungeon boss solo. Lu Fan's newly awakened system chimed in again, giving him a shiny new ability, Eye of Appraisal. "Let's test this bad boy." He focused on the priest. Instantly, information popped into view. Level 29 professional skills, professional awakening net worth, 5 million dragon coins. Lu Fan blinked. 5 million. My aunt would have to steam buns till the next era to make that much. Before he could dwell on the staggering wealth gap, the headmaster raised his voice again, signaling the start of the roll call. Names were being called one by one. First up, Jing Dao, the golden boy of Section 25. Rumored to have god-tier attributes, Jing Dao was the student everyone loved, and loved to envy. Watch, he's definitely getting something epic. As Jing Dao stepped onto the stage, the priest began chanting. The massive crystal pulsed with energy, glowing brighter and brighter, until, with a sudden whoosh, a fireball shot out. Pyromancer. The crowd gasped. A combative profession, and a rare one at that. The girl screamed, hearts pounding. Jing Dao conjured a small fireball in his palm and smirked. He was basically printing date requests at this point. Lu Fan watched the scene unfold, his jaw tight. This was what power looked like. This was the difference between struggle and success. If I can awaken a combative class, he thought, I can change everything. But the universe wasn't handing out fireballs to everyone. As the ceremony continued, most students ended up with subsistence professions, herbalist, tailor, miner, and so on. Useful? Absolutely. Glorious? Not quite. These were the people who made the world turn, but they didn't exactly get groupies. Lu Fan realized the truth. Despite all the dreams and hype, combative professions were rare. Most would leave this ceremony with nothing more than calluses and humble paychecks. And soon, it would be his turn. Awakening as a combative professional meant everything in this world: fame, power, fortune. It was the golden ticket out of mediocrity. Meanwhile, a subsistence profession meant you would likely end up working 9 to 5 just to survive. Still, not everyone saw it as a curse. A student ahead of Lu Fan whispered to their friend, honestly, even a subsistence profession isn't so bad. Better than a reinforcing class if you were broke. They brought up Li Ping from Section 3. Her family was already struggling financially, and yet she awakened as a reinforcing professional, a class that required tons of money just to level up. Skills? Useful. Maintenance? Bank breaking. For someone like her, it might have been better to get a profession like tailor or apothecary. At least she could earn a steady living. Lu Fan overheard and felt his stomach tighten. His family wasn't well off either. If he ended up with a profession that required wealth to grow, he'd be stuck right from the start. Just then, the headmaster's voice rang out across the platform, "Lu Fan, step up!" As he walked toward the awakening pedestal, the atmosphere shifted. The girls in the crowd suddenly took notice. One of them whispered, "Wait. Is Lu Fan actually hot?" Another giggled, "Smart, handsome, and mysterious. Please let him awaken as something cool." But Lu Fan was focused. No distractions now. He stepped up to the glowing crystal, inhaled sharply, and placed his hands on it. No point being nervous now, he told himself. The priest resumed his chant, and in the next moment, everything changed. A vision exploded in Lu Fan's mind. A red dragon with blazing yellow eyes locked onto him. The earth trembled. Students stumbled, grabbing each other for balance. Golden light poured from the crystal, completely engulfing Lu Fan. Then, a dragon appeared. Not in the vision. In real life. A golden dragon, born from the awakening light, soared above the ceremony grounds. Gasps filled the air. Teachers dropped their notepads. The crowd froze. A hidden profession? One of the female teachers turned to Teacher Li, wide-eyed. "Your section produced a hidden professional." Teacher Li nearly fainted from joy. Hidden professionals were legendary, rare, powerful, and capable of altering the fate of kingdoms. If Lu Fan awakened as a dragon blood warrior or a dragon language mage, he wouldn't just be famous, he'd be historic. They hadn't seen someone awaken as a dragon blood warrior in over 10 years. The dragon roared. A sound so thunderous it shook the sky and made students cover their ears. Then, as suddenly as it came, the beast vanished. The headmaster bolted toward Lu Fan, barely containing his excitement. "Tell me, did you awaken as a dragon blood warrior? Or dragon language mage?" Lu Fan looked up. Calm. Stoic. Then sighed. "No. I awakened as a dragon tamer." Silence. Like someone hit the mute button on reality. The headmaster blinked. "You or what?" A few students whispered. Others straight up laughed. "Isn't that the most worthless hidden class in existence? You get a whole light show for that." Despite the ceremony ending in such dramatic fashion, Lu Fan found himself walking alone through the old town of Ganghai City later that day. His system interface hovered beside him like a personal HUD. Profession, Dragon Tamer level, 10 special skill, can tame dragons and dragon-like creatures. Net worth, 239 dragon coins, and not exactly the salary of a future legend, Lu Fan muttered. Flashbacks of the ceremony haunted him. Shocked teachers, mocking students, even his own doubts echoed in his mind. Sure, he had a hidden class, but it was the least useful one of the bunch. Why? Because dragons are ridiculously rare. And if you do find one? Good luck not becoming crispy toast. Dragons weren't pets. They were apex predators. Tamers needed absurd strength, charisma, and sheer luck just to get close, let alone gain loyalty. Some clueless students still didn't get the issue. Wait, if Dragon Tamer is one of the 3 great hidden professions, why is it so looked down on? Another student answered bluntly, because most people never even see a dragon. Taming one? That's fantasy-level nonsense. The headmaster, though clearly disappointed, tried to console Lu Fan. He gave him a gentle pat on the shoulder and said, "It's still a hidden profession, Lu Fan. Boundless potential. Maybe you can start with sub-dragon species? Grow stronger from there." It wasn't much, but it was something. And for Lu Fan, that was enough. Because no matter how weak or useless people thought his path was, he was going to prove them all wrong. But Lu Fan knew better. All the headmasters talk about potential didn't mean much without a real dragon. Sub-dragon species? Just glorified beasts with an attitude problem. Nowhere near the majestic, terrifying power of a true dragon. And the worst part? In the entire 800-year history of the Dragon Kingdom, dragons had appeared, sure. But a dragon tamer actually taming one? Not even once. Humans, no matter how strong, were still ants in a dragon's eyes. Lu Fan knew chasing the dream of taming a giant dragon was like chasing clouds, pretty, but pointless. He glanced at his system window. All his skills were locked. Why? Because he hadn't tamed a dragon yet. Classic catch, 22. He sighed, thinking about his aunt, Han Siyu. She'd worked herself to the bone to pay for his schooling, hoping he'd one day break free of poverty. And now? He couldn't even give her a better life. He couldn't even give himself a better skill tree. Lost in thought, Lu Fan suddenly found himself standing at the front door of their home, no memory of walking there. He blinked, shook the fog off, and forced a smile onto his face. "I'm home," he called out, voice cheerful. Or at least, trying to be. And then came Aunt Han Siyu. Now let me tell you, Han Siyu was a force of nature. The moment she saw Lu Fan, she launched at him like a missile made of love and flower dust, locking him in a tight hug. "You're back. Tell me everything." "What profession did you awaken?" she beamed, eyes full of excitement. Lu Fan opened his mouth to answer, but before he could speak, she cut him off. "Hey, it's okay. Even if you didn't awaken a combat class, that's fine. Honestly, I'd prefer you weren't out there risking your life every day." Her words were warm, comforting, but they hit Lu Fan like a truck. "No, Auntie," he said, louder than he meant to. "I did awaken a combat class. I became a dragon tamer." He braced for disappointment. Instead, Han Siyu looked like she'd just won the lottery. "That's amazing. So what if you don't have a dragon yet?" "It just means you're strong enough to even be chosen by that profession." She pulled him into another hug. "You'll get into college, and I'll keep supporting you like always. And if you decide not to go, that's fine too. We'll run the steam bun shop together." Steam buns over dragons? Honestly, tempting. Lu Fan felt a lump in his throat. His eyes stung. He didn't deserve someone this kind, this selfless. "Don't cry, dummy. Dinner's getting cold," Han Siyu teased. Lu Fan finally looked at the table. She'd cooked a feast, way too much for one person. She must have spent hours preparing it, hoping to celebrate his awakening. He sat down, trying to enjoy it. But the guilt lingered. Later that night, Lu Fan lay on his bed, staring at the ceiling. His thoughts circled like vultures. Han Siyu was only 26, yet she'd been working tough, low-paying jobs for years. Her hands were covered in cuts and bruises. He remembered once, she'd hidden a burn from him so he wouldn't worry. "I want to change her life," he whispered. But how? Without a dragon, being a dragon tamer meant nothing. Frustrated, Lu Fan slammed his fists into the mattress. If I just had a dragon, I could really do something. Then, ding! A notification from the system popped up, completely out of nowhere. "Congratulations! You've received your first day reward, Divine Level Treasure Map." Lu Fan blinked. Wait, what? He quickly remembered something important. His system wasn't just about dragon taming. It was called the Super Treasure Map System. At the ceremony, he'd only used the appraisal function. He hadn't even checked out the treasure map features. His hands trembled with excitement as he tapped the treasure map icon. What if this wasn't just some gimmick? What if this treasure map actually led him to a dragon? A map, a lie, and a stampede. The system finally explained itself. Turns out, the treasure maps were ranked beginner, intermediate, advanced, and divine. And here's the kicker. 3 low-tier maps could be fused into one higher-level map. Pretty neat, right? Lu Fan barely had time to process that when another notification popped up. "You'll receive 1 random treasure map each day, graded and located randomly. Reach the marked area to receive a reward tied to your profession." Wait, tied to his profession? Lu Fan's eyes widened. If that was true, This treasure hunt could actually lead him to a dragon. For the first time in days, hope sparked in his chest. Maybe, just maybe, this super treasure map system wasn't some gimmick. Maybe it was his golden ticket from being the weakest to standing at the top. He clicked on the divine level treasure map. A glowing map burst open in front of him, highlighting one specific location. Mount Shiabas. Lu Fan knew the place. It wasn't too far from Shanghai City. If he caught the last suburban bus, he could be there by dawn. The next morning Han Siyu stretched, still in her nightdress, and flicked on the light. Her hair was a mess. She shuffled out and saw a note on the dining table. She glanced toward Lu Fan's room. Empty. Her heart sank as she read the letter. Auntie, I've gone to Mount Shiabas. This might be my only shot to change my fate. Don't worry, I'll be back soon. She clutched the note tightly, eyes brimming with worry. Meanwhile, a bus rumbled through the misty mountain roads. Lu Fan sat alone, unaware that a group of shader-looking individuals was eyeing him from the back seats. But he wasn't thinking about them. He was thinking about his aunt. About the pain in her hands. About the life she deserved. And about the dragon that could change everything. He stepped off the bus at the barren outskirts of Mount Shiabas. The place looked deserted. No birds. No wind. Just eerie silence. Perfect setting for a horror movie, he thought. Then, bump! Someone knocked into his backpack. Lu Fan spun around. Two strangers stood there. A muscular man with a scar and a petite girl with fox-like eyes. They looked like the kind of people who robbed you before they asked your name. Lu Fan stepped back, hand on his weapon. Before he could react, a third figure, a grizzled old man with an eye patch, appeared behind him and grabbed his shoulder. You alone, kid? Want to team up? Lu Fan shrugged him off fast. No thanks. I work alone. He narrowed his eyes. These three weren't adventurers, they were dungeon robbers. And he was walking gold to them. The girl grinned, pulling out a knife. You sure? You might want to rethink that. The eye patch man leaned in. It's dangerous out here alone. You might not make it back. Lu Fan was sweating inside but didn't show it. He had to bluff. Hard. I'm a summoner, he lied. I can summon elemental creatures. I don't need help. The trio froze. For a moment, nobody said anything. Then the man chuckled. Oh? Well, that changes things. The girl winked and blew him a kiss. Hope we meet again, handsome. Lu Fan, momentarily flustered, 100% relieved. Yeah, sure, great. Let's never meet again, thanks. As they disappeared into the forest, he thought to himself, this wilderness is dangerous. But not as dangerous as getting stabbed in the back. The encounter rattled him. Without real power, he was nothing but easy prey. He opened his system map and picked up the pace. As Lu Fan ventured deeper into Mount Shiabas, he spotted something majestic and terrifying. A herd of power horn horses. Level 8 magical beasts. Graceful. Massive. And very territorial. Lu Fan knew the drill, don't poke the horses. Don't get poked by the horses. He quietly veered off course, taking a long detour around them. The longer route made him anxious, but better anxious than trampled. Or so he thought. Soon, he found himself facing a group of giant horn antelopes. Stronger, faster, and known for their bad temper. He moved slowly, carefully, one step at a time. Squelch! A tiny frog underfoot screamed out its pain with a dramatic ribbit of betrayal. The antelopes snapped their heads toward him, eyes full of murder. Oh no! Next thing he knew, Lu Fan was running for his life. Through bushes, over roots, lungs burning. Spotting a flat rocky ledge, he dove. Thud! Dust exploded around him as the herd thundered past, narrowly missing him. Panting, he lay there, heart racing. I can't even handle an angry antelope, he clenched his fists. This is what being powerless feels like. But he wasn't done. Not yet. Because somewhere out there, on this mountain, was his first real treasure. And maybe, just maybe, his first real dragon. Lu Fan stood alone, staring at the spot where he nearly became roadkill under a pack of angry antelopes. Catching his breath, he whispered to himself, if I miss this opportunity today, my fate might end up like that poor frog, and just then, ding. System notification, you've arrived at your designated treasure map location. Lu Fan's eyes locked onto two massive rocks ahead. A faint red glow flickered between them, just like on the map. Behind those rocks was a narrow cave. Inside? A pitch-black egg, pulsing softly, cracking slowly. No way. A dragon egg? Before he could even react, his system confirmed it. Unidentified black dragon egg, level unknown. Lu Fan's heart thudded. This was it. This was the moment. If he could tame this dragon, he'd go from bottom feeder to apex predator overnight. But before the excitement could settle, a rustle in the grass snapped him back to reality. Lu Fan turned, cleaver in hand. From the shadows emerged a bloodthirsty grey fox, its red eyes glowing with primal rage. It snarled and leapt, fangs wide, catching his cleaver in its canines with a metallic clang. The fox lunged again. Lu Fan twisted, flinging it to the ground. Panting, he activated his appraisal skill. Bloodthirsty grey fox, special skills, triple claw strike, bloodthirst recovery, triple claw strike? And it heals by draining blood? Great. Just great. He glanced back at the dragon egg. The cracks were widening. If I can just stall the fox until it hatches. But the fox wasn't waiting. It darted forward, fast as lightning. Lu Fan raised his arm, slash. Pain exploded as the claws tore into his forearm. He gritted his teeth. He couldn't let it recover. Not now. The fox lashed out again, strike 1. Lu Fan braced. Strike 2, blocked by his cleaver. Strike 3, he barely dodged, rolling aside just in time. Now! With every ounce of strength, Lu Fan swung his cleaver down, crack. The blade slammed into the fox's skull. Blood sprayed. The creature collapsed with a twitch. System notification, you have defeated a bloodthirsty grey fox. Plus 120 EXP. Lu Fan staggered backward, covered in blood, heart racing. But just as he caught his breath, 3 shadows appeared behind him. Slow clapping echoed. Nice work, Dragon Boy. Lu Fan turned, of course. It was them. The dungeon robbers. The girl smirked. The muscular guy cracked his knuckles. And the eye patch man looked far too amused. Lu Fan immediately took a defensive stance. Don't get any ideas. I'm not joining your gang. The girl giggled. Relax. No need to be so nervous. She leaned in with a smirk. We know you lied about being a summoner. Eye patch chimed in, grinning. A real summoner wouldn't get scratched up by a fox. You're not fooling anyone, kid. Lu Fan cursed silently. They'd figured it out. Still, he played it cool. He nudged the fox's corpse toward them with his boot. Take the fur and scram. I'm not in the mood. The eye patch man picked it up and chuckled. Worth maybe 80 dragon coins. Nice try. He locked eyes with Lu Fan. But we're not here for this. We're here for that. Lu Fan's stomach sank. He turned his head slightly. Sure enough, the muscular guy and the girl were staring at the dragon egg. They are after the divine treasure too. Before he could react, the muscular thug charged. Boom! The punch landed square in Lu Fan's chest. His cleaver flew from his hand as he crashed to the ground, gasping. Dazed and dizzy, he opened his eyes to find the girl on top of him, knife pressed against his throat. Don't move, or you'll bleed. The eye patch man crouched beside him, smug. You underestimated a dungeon robber's nose for treasure. Then the muscular guy called out from the cave. Hey, boss! You won't believe what I found. He stood over the cracking dragon egg, his shadow looming ominously over the treasure that could have changed everything for Lu Fan. Lu Fan's worst fear had come true. His enemies had reached the dragon egg first. And now, lying on the ground with a knife to his throat, it seemed like the end. Finish him off, the eye patch man barked. The girl leaned in, blade glinting. You handsome. But it's time to say goodbye. But Lu Fan wasn't going down like this. Behind them, the dragon egg cracked wide open, and in a burst of light, something shot into the sky like a meteor. Everyone froze. Above them hovered a massive black silhouette, wings outstretched, eyes burning like twin furnaces. A dragon. A real, full-grown dragon. Panic struck the robbers instantly. The eye patch guy hurled a potion into the air. The dragon dodged it like it was swatting a fly. The muscular thug roared and tried to punch the creature. Bad move. Whoosh! The dragon opened its jaws, unleashing a searing blast of energy that incinerated him mid-air. Ashes! The eye patch man was paralyzed with fear, watching his buddy's crispy remains fall to the ground. The dragon turned its gaze on him. No. Please? Too late. Even the girl was trembling now. The knife dropped from her hand. Lu Fan didn't waste the chance. With one powerful shove, he knocked her aside and got back to his feet. "You guys really picked the wrong target," he growled. He sprinted toward the dragon. It hovered in place, unsure of whether to fry him or not. Lu Fan raised his hands. "Dragon taming technique." A golden light radiated from his palms. Even the dragon flinched, confused. Then, he touched it. System notification: Black Dragon Covenant tamed by Lu Fan. New skills unlocked: Dragon Claw, Dragon Fong Strike, Dragon Inspiration. The girl stumbled backward. What? Who are you? Lu Fan turned, finally smirking. "I'm not just a summoner. I'm a dragon tamer." The dragon growled and leapt toward her. She panicked, tripping over herself. "I didn't know it was a dragon egg. I swear." "I'm sorry." But Lu Fan's voice was cold. "You schemed against innocent people. You can join your friends." He pointed. "Finish her." Boom. The dragon obeyed. The dust cleared. Lu Fan sat alone on a cliff's edge, wrapping a bandage around his torn arm. Beside him, the dragon rummaged through his bag like a curious puppy. He lifted the creature with both arms, laughing in disbelief. "You're way too lively. If you'd re this strong now. Imagine when you level up." He hugged it tightly. Maybe being a dragon tamer isn't such a weak class after all. But something was off. The dragon stared at his wound, then gently licked it. A soft red aura surrounded its body. Then, whoosh! Wings spread. Magic swirled. And right before his eyes, the dragon transformed. Standing there was a stunning girl, with elegant black wings, a long sleek tail, and eyes that sparkled like obsidian fire. Lu Fan blinked. "Wait. What?" "Yup. Plot twist. His dragon just turned into a girl. All hail the waifu tamer." Lu Fan was speechless. His newly hatched companion, now a human-like girl, stood before him, tilting her head like a confused puppy. She didn't speak human language yet. Just nodded at everything he said. This is adorable, and kind of terrifying. While she fluttered around like an over-caffeinated child, Lu Fan opened his system to check his newly unlocked powers. Dragon taming lets him form bonds with dragon-type beasts. Dragon Claw transforms his arm into a massive claw whose strength depends on his current dragon. Dragon Fong Strike channels dragon energy for a devastating blow. Dragon Inspiration boosts both his and his dragon's attack and attributes by 30%. "No wonder I'm crushing the power charts now," he muttered. Then, curiosity took over. He tapped on his dragon's profile. And boom, her stats popped up. Lu Fan couldn't believe his eyes. He stared at the dragon girl, his dragon girl, while her ridiculously overpowered stats glowed on the interface like cheat codes. Strength, 342 agility, 267 spirit, 359 endurance, 373 at level 1. Talk about broken, but it didn't stop there. Her skill set was even more outrageous. Mighty Jaw Assault, she lunges forward, bites hard, and causes continuous bleeding. Lava Flame spews fire non-stop while healing herself. That's right. Damage and sustain. Black Dragon Heritage reduces all incoming damage by 50%, immunity to all debuffs, and boosts self-healing by 500%. Bloodline Connection grants 10% of her attributes directly to Lu Fan. That means he just got stronger too. Lu Fan blinked. Is this a newborn or a final boss? He checked again. Yep, it was real. The bloodline connection not only gave him a 10% bonus from her, but apparently doubled his own base stats. That explained why he suddenly felt like he could dropkick a mountain. No wonder I feel like I could take on a whole army. This is the true power of one of the 3 strongest hidden professions. All those haters calling Dragon Tamer the weakest class? Joke's on them. They haven't seen this dragon. And right at that moment, he saw her chewing on her own eggshell. Still got that baby brain, huh? Even though she had a human form, she was clearly still just a newborn dragon. Curious, innocent, and hungry. Lu Fan realized there was still one big thing left. "I need to give you a name." He paused, watching the first light of dawn stretch across the sky. A little black dragon, born just before sunrise. "Xia," he said softly. "Your name is Xia." The dragon girl paused mid-bite, looked up at him, and smiled. Wide, bright, and innocent. Like she was thrilled to finally be someone. Lu Fan's heart melted. He patted her head, grinning. "Glad you like it. All right, Xia, you hungry?" She nodded, finishing off the last piece of shell like a crunchy snack. Let's go hunt some monsters then. Can't go home on an empty stomach. Lu Fan stood up, tightening the straps on his bag. His mind flashed to the upcoming university entrance trial, his shot at the Southern Province's top scholar title, and a seat in the Dragon Kingdom's most elite institution. But he knew one thing, he wasn't ready yet. We need to level up. Fast. He turned to Xia, who fluttered up beside him. With a mischievous grin. Next stop, Mount Xia Basin. Word is, the monsters there taste better than eggshells. They barely made it 10 steps before a loud noise echoed through the forest. Rustling. Thudding. Growling. Lu Fan snapped his fingers, pulling up the interface. Detected, Plains Hyena's nasty creatures. Real troublemakers. They came with 2 dangerous attacks, rending bite, causes ongoing bleeding. Putrefaction applies a disease debuff, weakening both defense and healing. But if you beat them? Loot drop, canine teeth, 95 dragon coins each. Lu Fan gulped. These guys are definitely tougher than that bloodthirsty grey fox from before, and I barely walked away from that fight. Just as he considered backing off, he looked up and froze. Wait, where's Xia? Already airborne. The dragon girl was in full flight, eyes glowing, wings spread wide, and wearing a grin that screamed, I call dibs on the snacks. Lu Fan sighed. Yep, definitely still a newborn. But one thing was clear, this duo was no longer prey. They were the predators now. Lu Fan could tell, Xia wanted to lead this fight. He smiled, stepping back as she soared into the sky. With flames building in her belly and hyenas roaring below, one thing was certain, Mount Xia Bass holds no danger, not for the strongest dragon tamer and his dragon. The hyenas didn't stand a chance. High above, Xia's form glowed with molten energy. Then, lava flame exploded from her mouth, blanketing the field in searing fire. The beast screeched and collapsed, dropping loot and XP like burnt pinatas. Ding! Lu Fan reached level 11. Ding! Xia hit level 3. With a grin, Lu Fan told her, all right, no more time on these small fries. Let's go find the real threat. Their eyes turned to a shadowy cave nestled in the mountainside. That's when he felt it, killing intent. From within the darkness, 3 glowing eyes stared them down. No, not 3 eyes, 3 sets. The beast stepped forward, massive, fur blazing with crimson streaks. The 3-headed blood lion. Level 25. Each head snarled independently, dripping with menace. This elite monster wasn't just for show. It had roar, buffs its own defense and attack. Trample, a massive area damage. Triple flame, 3 waves of fire-based AoE that melt anything dumb enough to stand still. Defeating it meant 790 EXP, and rare drops like Blood Lion's Tooth and Blood Lion Skin. Normally, it'd take a whole party of elite hunters to even attempt this. But Lu Fan wasn't normal anymore. I've got Xia. That's more than enough. He gave the order. Xia let out a low growl of approval. The battle began. The Blood Lion central head howled, casting roar, boosting its power, then started charging triple flame, a slow but deadly cast. Lu Fan narrowed his eyes. That charge time, we can interrupt it. He turned to Xia. Let's coordinate. Take the heads, I'll follow through. In an instant, Xia's body ignited, flames spiraling around her as she reverted to her dragon form. She shot forward like a bullet from a cannon. Mighty Jaw Assault. She bit into the central head, then clamped her claws around the other 2, pinning them down. System notification, triple flame successfully interrupted. Lu Fan charged in, cleaver glowing with energy. Time to end this. He leapt and shouted, Dragon Fang Strike. A blast of dragon aura surged through his weapon, landing squarely into the beast's chest. The lion staggered, then crashed. Down, defeated. Xia landed beside him, shifting back into her human form, panting but smiling. Lu Fan hit level 14. Xia jumped to level 9. Before they could even rest, a new system notification flashed, treasure map system activated. A new map has been sent to your inventory. Lu Fan raised an eyebrow, a sly grin forming. An exclusive dragon tamer treasure, huh? This day just keeps getting better. He turned to Xia. Ready for some treasure hunting? She nodded eagerly, clearly still buzzing from the fight. Scene shift, deeper in Mount Xia Bass 3 figures stood near a jagged rock formation. A blue-haired girl looked impatiently at the cave in front of them. Are we really going to let this opportunity slip by? Her uncle, a burly warrior named Sunu, crossed his arms and shook his head. The fortuitous realm needs 5 people to open. We don't have enough. He suggested sending Miss Kai, their rogue companion, back to Shanghai City to recruit more. But Kai shook her head. Even if I sprint at top speed, the trip's a full day. The realm will vanish before I'm back. That's when we learn the girl's name, Qin Shio. Her class remains a mystery, but she's clearly no ordinary rookie. She spoke calmly but firmly. Fortuitous realms appear randomly, and the loot is better than any regular dungeon. If we miss this, we won't get another shot. Sunu tried to cheer her up. You're top university material, Qin Shio. You'll have your pick of secret realms. But she wasn't convinced. Her eyes lingered on the glowing runes of the cave entrance, opportunity slipping through her fingers. Back on the mountainside, Lu Fan and Xia had no idea their paths were about to cross. Qin Shio was inches from losing her chance at greatness. The fortuitous realm was right there and still missing one member. Suddenly, rustling. Sunu and Miss Kai spun around, weapons raised, ready for a fight. But it wasn't a monster. It was Lu Fan, casually strolling by like he was out for a picnic. Sunu blinked. A kid? Out here? He warned Lu Fan, this mountain isn't for casual hikers. You should head BA. Before he could finish, Qin Shio stepped in. With practiced poise, she introduced herself as part of the Qin family of Shanghai City, the wealthiest clan in the region. And then, out of nowhere, she made an offer, join us in the secret realm of chance. You don't even have to lift a finger, just be the 5th member. We'll pay you 100,000 dragon coins. Lu Fan paused mid-step. If the Qin family is willing to pay that much, the treasure inside must be insane. Qin Shio explained further. They'd already found a paladin as the 4th member but were still one short. Time was ticking. If they didn't get 5 people soon, the realm would disappear. Sunu, already walking toward the glowing purplish portal, waved Lu Fan over. Hurry up if you want to get paid. These kinds of opportunities don't wait. But Lu Fan wasn't easily bought. He smiled and replied, I'm not interested in money. I'll join if we split the rewards based on contribution. Dead silence. Miss Kai blinked. Wait, you want us to divide the loot by strength? Lu Fan nodded. Exactly. Qin Shio tilted her head, eyeing him with a puzzled look. This guy looks weaker than any of us. Is he confident or just delusional? But they were desperate. She extended her hand with a smile. Fine. We'll go with your plan. And the 100,000 dragon coins are still yours, out of sincerity. Lu Fan shook her hand, sealing the deal. Internally, he made a decision. He wouldn't summon Shurao Yi yet. Revealing a legendary dragon in front of strangers? That was a recipe for jealousy, or worse. Better to wait until we have the loot. Then I'll let them see what real power looks like. Inside the secret realm of chance, the group stepped into the portal and emerged into a haunting wasteland. Dead trees. A choking purple fog. And silence so heavy you could hear your heartbeat. System notification, entered, Morning Village, level 20 fortuitous realm. Difficulty, solid. Group entry, 5 minimum, required. Qin Shio whispered, it's so quiet. I can only hear us. Miss Kai analyzed the air. No wind. No animals. Even the fog's too still. Something's wrong here. Sunu, glancing sideways at Lu Fan, frowned. He doesn't even have a weapon. Is he planning to punch monsters to death? But Lu Fan just smiled. He raised his hand. Whoosh! Flames coiled around his arm as a massive black machete appeared in his grip. Its blade shimmered with dragon scales, glowing with an ominous red hue. System notification, equipped, Dragon Scale Cleaver, epic quality weapon, no level requirement. Exclusive to Dragon Tamers, Dragon Blood Warriors. Skill, Dragon Blood Armor, partially transforms user into a dragon. Boosts all dragon-related skills. Plus 65 strength, plus 30 stamina. Everyone froze. Miss Kai took a cautious step back. Qin Shio's eyes widened. Sunu muttered, an epic weapon? At his level. Lu Fan smirked inwardly, thanking the advanced treasure map triggered by the Blood Lion. That fight had been tough, but it paid off. Now let's see how much you all underestimate me after this dungeon. Lu Fan's flashy weapon had left everyone stunned, especially Sun Go, who blurted out, wait, are you sure you're just a material hunter? You look like a transfer student from some elite academy. Miss Kai rolled her eyes. Why do you even care? If he tries anything sketchy, I'll personally turn him into zombie chow. But before the bickering could escalate, wham! A hand burst from the dirt, grabbing Sun Go's ankle. He jumped back, startled. From beneath the ground, rotting corpses began clawing their way up, corrupt zombies, level 15 monsters with terrifying skills, hug and bite, they grapple and claw while sinking their teeth in. Corpse poison, every attack poisons the victim, slowly draining HP. Zombie conversion, anyone who dies from the poison turns into one of them. Each kill gave 620 EXP, a corruption poison sack, and 256 dragon coins. Nice loot, but the cost could be fatal. Qin Xiao shouted a warning to Sun Go as more zombies erupted around them. But the paladin Jigu wasn't about to let anyone fall. Shield raised, he leapt forward like a tank on wheels, absorbing the initial wave. Status check, Jigu, level 20 knight, profession, fighter role, wall with a pulse. Miss Kai and Sun Go quickly fell back to support. Nice block, Jigu! Sun Go shouted, charging in next. Sun Go, level 28 warrior, began slicing through zombies with massive swings, while Miss Kai, level 23 rogue, danced through the chaos, blades flashing. Meanwhile, Lu Fan remained calm. His system interface flickered in his vision, revealing everyone's battle stats and actions in real time. Knight in front, warrior and rogue flank, good formation. Sun Go's close to a profession change. They're more capable than I thought. Suddenly, Qin Xiao stepped forward. Her staff glowed, and a golden aura enveloped her. She rose slightly off the ground, eyes closed in concentration. Oh, we're charging up the big gun, Lu Fan thought. Then, boom! She cast Holy Light Star Rain. Brilliant star-like energy rained down, exploding on impact, wiping out zombies by the dozens. At the same time, her allies glowed as their wounds healed. Sun Go and Miss Kai had to dive out of the blast zone just to avoid getting roasted by friendly fire. The zombies were annihilated. Qin Xiao turned to Lu Fan with a proud smile. That's my profession. System notification, revealed, hidden class, Holy Light Mage balance dual role. Moderate healing plus area damage. Lu Fan raised an eyebrow. A hidden profession again? And it's a hybrid. He complimented her on the holy damage, particularly brutal against the undead. But the celebration didn't last long. Rumble. The ground shook. Hard. From beneath the soil, a blood-red hand erupted, clawing at the air. System alert. Blood zombies, level 20 elite monsters rewards, 8, 140 EXP, blood corpse poison sack, 90 dragon coin skills, blood sucking bite, heals itself while damaging the victim. Corpse poison, as before, inflicts continuous poison damage. Blood fury, temporarily boosts strength and agility by 40%. The monsters that emerged were bulkier, faster, and clearly out for blood. Their glowing eyes locked on the team. They're not just here to fight. They're here to wipe us out. Sun Go took command instantly. Miss Kai. Protect Qin Xiao and Lu Fan. As the team regrouped for the coming onslaught, Lu Fan knew one thing for sure: if we don't pull out everything we've got, we're not walking out of this realm. Jigu, with me. Sunu's voice cut through the chaos. They couldn't let the zombie horde break their front line. Both he and Jigu charged forward, weapons blazing with energy. Sunu slashed with a powerful full moon slash, severing a zombie's arm clean off. Jigu aimed straight for the heart, driving his sword deep into the creature's chest. For a moment, it looked like they'd done real damage. But then, the zombies grinned. Not in pain. In delight. Jigu tried to pull his blade back, but the zombie wasn't letting go. Its chest began absorbing the sword, like it was devouring metal. Before they could react, a sinister laugh echoed through the mist. The zombies began growing larger, and corpse poison leaked from their mouths. System alert, corpse poison activated drains party HP and heals zombies per second. Qin Xiao's eyes widened. This isn't normal. I can't cleanse this. We need a priest's clarity skill to dispel corpse poison. Jigu groaned as the poison spread up his arm. His HP bar dropped rapidly. Help me. I can't break free. Let go of your sword, Jigu. Sunu yelled. Now! Jigu released his grip just in time. Sunu yanked him back, barely avoiding the zombie's next strike. Miss Kai, cover us! But Miss Kai was already overwhelmed, fending off 2 zombies that lunged at her with clawed fingers glowing green. The situation was spiraling out of control. Then, amid the madness, a voice broke through like a calm breeze through fire. "Hey, Sak, chill. Don't trouble Miss Kai." Everyone turned. There stood Lu Fan, one eye glowing a crimson red, his legendary machete glowing with golden fire in his hand. He wasn't scared. He wasn't flustered. He looked like he was about to take the entire undead army head-on by himself. Sunu panicked. "Get out of there! Those are red blood zombies." But Lu Fan didn't flinch. He lunged. Slash! His machete cut clean across the zombie's throat, severing it with surgical precision. The creature collapsed, dead before it even realized what hit it. The team was stunned. Sun Go stared, jaw on the floor. Did that newbie just one-shot a red blood zombie? Lu Fan casually handed Jigu his sword back. "Don't back down. Keep moving forward," he said with a smile that screamed confidence. Sunu blinked. "Okay, seriously, what's your level?" Lu Fan's eye still glowed faintly. "I'm just a normal level 14 student." No one believed that. Jigu, barely conscious, was quickly tended to by Qin Shio, who worked to stop the poison spread. As she healed him, she overheard Lu Fan talking about coming to Mount Shia Basin for practice before the big exam. Her mind raced. Level 14? That's my age group, but how does he hit harder than Sunu, who's level 28? Before she could get an answer, a zombie lunged at her from behind, grinning with poison-dripping teeth. "Qin Shio, move!" Miss Kai shouted. But she didn't have to. Lu Fan was faster. He dashed in, pinned the zombie to the wall, and took it out with a single precise swing of his machete. He turned to the group. "These things are going to keep evolving. We need to end this quickly. I'll take the front. Everyone else, hold your positions." Sunu hesitated. But Qin Shio remembered something. Rumors. Whispers back in Jianghai City. A hidden class. A powerful young tamer with dragon blood. Could it be Lu Fan? She wondered. She smiled. "We'll count on you then." With Lu Fan taking point and Sun Go covering him, Qin Shio could finally focus on healing, while Miss Kai secured the rear. Lu Fan introduced himself. The moment they heard the name, the group's suspicions clicked into place. He was the rumored dragon tamer. But even now, Qin Shio still couldn't figure out one thing: how can the weakest class in the system be the strongest person in this realm? Fast forward, the team pushed forward, carving through wave after wave of blood zombies, finally reaching the village center, a place where the ground pulsed like it was alive, and even the shadows whispered warnings. Lu Fan stepped forward, glowing aura blazing, machete ready, and the real battle was just beginning.